This is a certified hood classic.
There have been many legendary villain introductions over the years, from Cell's debut in Dragon Ball Z to Doflamingo's terrifying String debut, and the groundbreaking introduction of Thanos in Avengers Infinity War. Villains are just as important to the story as the heroes and supporting characters, which is why in today's video, we have to talk about one of the greatest villain introductions of all time, aka the time Vilgax pulled up on the Tennysons, the diabolical plan of the century. So without further ado, my G's, let's get right on with the video. Meanwhile, in outer space, Vilgax was in the middle of setting up the wildest confrontation known to mankind as he told his men the Omnitrix had been activated. And this shot of Vilgax, my goodness. Vilgax has a Dr. Doom sitting down pose locked into the max. Vilgax got the Hall of Fame Intimidator badge maxed out and he hasn't even done anything yet. That's an amazing aura for a character. Vilgax orders his minions to locate the Omnitrix, which they do, and Vilgax's delight in seeing the Omnitrix on the map is wild. Vilgax already has a twisted side drum plan up his sleeve, and the man isn't even on planet Earth yet. We pick back up with Gwen, who's trying to enjoy her laptop, but couldn't as Ben was in his Bugs Bunny era of trolling his cousin with Upgrade. Side note, Upgrade is such an underrated alien. He's got to have one of the best powers and designs in the entire series. I think we all know how much of a tool Ben was as a kid, but man, our boy couldn't help troll the hell out of Gwen. Like, chill my guy, you're doing way too much. Ben's trolling was so unnecessary that the GOAT Max Tennyson insisted right now was not a time for him to be an alien. Oh nah man, Max knows something Ben and Gwen don't, because Max has been on a Stardust Crusaders type mission to arrive at Mount Rushmore on time. Max even told Ben they couldn't afford to have any unwanted attention on them. Ben, who was on the same type of confusion as the camera crew when the Rock wouldn't stop cooking Cody after the show, asked his grandpa what kind of attention. Luckily, Ben's Omnitrix timed out just as he finished his question. Fate saved the Tennyson team here because they were this close to being blindsided by the maxed out 100 overall talent known as Vilgax. Back on the ship, the minion tells Vilgax the Omnitrix signal has vanished, but Vilgax was so nonchalant. I would be too if I was posted up in a chair like this. As Vilgax told his minion, he's narrowed down the location. Vilgax stands up as he finishes off by saying he knows how to get the hero's attention. Yeah, this twisted individual is planning on clowning hard-working 9-to-5 citizens of the Earth. What kind of evil thinking is that? A man even punched his monitor out. Like you're going to be the one who has to pay for the damages, Vilgax. Vilgax's ship made entry on planet Earth as the villain headed straight for Rapid City to fulfill his mission as a menace. Close by, Ben notices smoke in the air and asks his grandpa what exactly was going on in the city. Max answered Ben by saying the local authorities will handle it, and I'm just like, damn, is there some special material on Mount Rushmore? Because Max is willing to go there instead of helping the locals? Homie is showing all the signs of a tweener right now. Upon seeing an explosion, Ben realized it was time to go Superman, and he started dialing his watch. Max was like, grandson, that don't sound like a good idea to me. But Ben, operating like how a 10-year-old usually would, ignored his grandpa's suggestion and selected one of the greatest aliens within the series, aka Heat Blast. Heat Blast is an S-tier alien with fire powers, sick design, and he's voiced by the GOAT voice actor Steve Blum. The creators cooked with the conception of Heat Blast, no pun intended. Ben got out of the rush bucket to fly over to the city, and Max's face kills me in this shot. My man can't believe Ben actually performed a buggy stunt in front of him. He just knows they're in deep right now. Multiple civilians were being shot at by Vilgax's drones, and you have to feel so bad for civilians in these forms of media. They're on their way from work or some other place, and now they lose the car or house they were so close to paying off. I could never be a civilian in these shows. Fortunately, the clutch save champion Ben Tennyson pulled up and started incinerating the drones with 5-star fireballs. One fact about Ben as a protagonist is that he's got one of the best clutch saves out there for a main character. Ben activated his Bloodline Rock badge and started talking trash to the drones, but nothing could prepare me for the next shot. These drones are really about to pull off the Naruto Shadow Clone hospital jumping technique on Ben to pack him up. These are some clever drones. Ben himself was even like, hold up, let's do a one-on-one because it feels like y'all were prepared to fight me this whole time. Ben blasted through all the drones with his Hall of Fame fire powers, and bro was thinking to himself, damn, heroic activities can be really easy sometimes. And we intellectual viewers were looking at Ben knowing he's about to get the most terrifying jump scare of his life from his op. Ben looks to his right and is hit with an electric trap that pins him to the wall. A Scooby-Doo set trap was successfully performed on Ben Tennyson. Yeah, Ben is being packed up for the afterlife for sure. As Ben looks up from his imprisonment, he sees a large spike ball coming towards him. This is crazy. Vilgax pulled up on Ben with a GTA modified vehicle. That's how you know Ben ain't coming out of this fight the same way as before. The ball opens up, causing Ben to be curious about who could be inside. And oh my god, look at how cool this man Vilgax looks. The aura the man has as a shadowy figure is is too good. Lord, if cinema gives us another sensational decade villain, please let them get some inspiration from 05 Vilgax, because he is quite literally built differently as a character. Vilgax walks out of his vehicle, and this is top 5 villain camera shots of all time. Ben realizes this is the same villain as the one in his Dr. Destiny dreams, as Vilgax was finally happy to see the being who, as he put it, caused him so much trouble. Ben asks the villain who he is, and the menace informs the hero that he is Vilgax, a twisted man who has come to collect the prestige item known as the Omnitrix. Ben realized he was in a bad situation and immediately spiked his burning temperature to Flame Emperor levels until he was finally free of the trap. Ben successfully got out of the trap, so I was thinking this kid is definitely going to flee like an intelligent person would, right? Wrong. Ben hopped onto Vilgax, and my guy isn't even trying to move out of the way. The disrespect is too much. Ben landed his attack and brought out the Gatling gun technique in an attempt to damage Vilgax, and I'm sorry. Vilgax looks so ashamed at the fact that the most legendary device in the universe is in the possession of a 10-year-old. To be fair, Ben is a little kid, but goodness, did Vilgax look disappointed. Vilgax lifts up Ben and immediately tosses him into a wall, causing the poor hero to fly into multiple buildings like he was Green Lantern and Batman in their throwdown with Superman from Justice League War. Once again, you have to feel for the construction workers that are going to have to rebuild all of this. Ben frees himself out of the rubble, and it was at this very moment that Ben realized Vilgax was a different breed, like a Hall of Fame class breed with all maxed out abilities. I'm talking about strength, speed, endurance, you name it. Vilgax activates his 03 Hulk jump card to jump in front of Ben. Meanwhile, Ben decided to be Albert Einstein in the situation as he burned the road near Vilgax to entrap him in the liquid goo. A clever move from Ben, and I was even getting ready to applaud him, but when he started walking up to Vilgax with that goofy smile of his, I produced the most perfect side-eye on God's green earth. Because my guy, you have the glorious opportunity of escaping from this man who's been turning you into a fatterized fool, and you decide on walking towards him? If anything, Ben's confidence levels are maxed out. Grandpa Max pulls up, racing down the road like those crackheads you see on news channels in a high-speed chase, when suddenly he moves his head backwards in shock, and I was just like, damn, he knows him, doesn't he? This is some special case of secret identities, because holy moly, y'all, Ben switches to the Wally West flash pose as he starts getting cocky with Vilgax, only for the rush button to move up in front of him. Gwen opens the door and tells her cousin to get inside now, but Ben insisted on not entering as he was about to clap Vilgax. The Omnitrix, hearing all that S-tier cap from Ben, decided to save him from ending up like Bellamy and reverted him back to his human form. Max orders Ben to enter, which he does as they immediately dash away from Vilgax. Thank goodness there's a smart person on the team. Max informs Ben he doesn't want to square up with Vilgax, and Ben was like, so you've known my opponent's identity this entire time? Even Gwen wanted answers too, but of course they weren't able to get them as they got blasted from behind by more drones. Grandpa Max, realizing the circumstances was going south again, activated his Mario Kart drifting skills to dodge the attacks. In the vicinity, Ben was preparing to go hero to fight the drones, and this kid just doesn't learn, does he? Ben transforms into the OG flyer Stingfly. Y'all put some respect on Stingfly, man. Which did not sit well with Grandpa Max. I don't blame him, to be honest. He's thinking logically while Ben is thinking like an overconfident 10-year-old if they were in the same position as him. Ben flies out to go fight the drones while Grandpa Max continues heading towards Mount Rushmore. Ben latches onto one of the drones and utilizes his signature slime attack on the second drone to prevent it from joining in on a jumping inauguration. That attack nearly hit Max, oh my god. Ben finished off his glorious moves by utilizing the bee sting maneuver on the remaining drones, causing him to crash down to the pavement. Ben even made an analogy on how his tail stings like a bee, and my goodness, man. Look at that menace in the background. Vilgax is the type of dude to immediately pull up on you to ruin your recent victory on something, because there's no sane individual that would jump that far in the air to do something like this, man. Vilgax pounces on Ben from behind with the Injustice 2 cheetah animations, and man, Stingfly is one strong alien to be able to still fly with an over 2,000 pound menace holding onto his tail. This moment doesn't get talked about enough, to be honest. Vilgax orders Ben to give him the Omnitrix, but Ben had other plans as he spat his slime at Vilgax with the same accuracy as those fat bombers from Left 4 Dead, resulting in Vilgax flying all the way down to the ground. One thing I love about Ben in this throwdown is the fact that the homie is not afraid to clap back against Vilgax. That type of energy requires maxed out levels of confidence and determination. Vilgax breaks out of the slime and immediately activates his General Eiling card to jump in the air in an attempt to grab Ben. Luckily, Ben dodged the attack because he was this close, and I mean this close, to becoming the next Yamcha. Ben wonders who Vilgax is as the man is landing right in front of Grandpa Max, forcing the veteran to reverse away Tenet style. Gwen questions her grandpa about why they're not helping Ben, leading Max to answer her by telling her they'll need to get some special help. At this point, Gwen couldn't take it anymore with her grandpa's answers, and you can't blame her. She's 10 years old here after all. Vilgax was busy practicing his after-school hurdles on multiple buildings as he continued to chase after Ben with the same desire as a coyote whenever he saw the Roadrunner or Bugs Bunny pull up to his crib. Vilgax performed one more Hulk jump and finally got the chance of utilizing the Mark Henry bear hug on Ben, resulting in both of them to crash into a building. The amount of casualties here, I just know it's going to be so much, man. I feel bad for civilians in these shows. They deserve better treatment. Vilgax picks up Ben by his shirt, and the sheer difference in size is remarkable. Vilgax got Ben looking like Rey Mysterio when he squared up with the Great Khali during the Ruthless Aggression era, and we all know how that match turned out. Both matches too. Vilgax touches the Omnitrix symbol, reverts Ben to his human form. This menace knows how to deactivate the watch with just a touch of his finger. Ben, you should have listened to your grandpa, because Vilgax is performing hacks on you with the same accuracy as those 2019 Fortnite hackers. Ben was like, how do you revert me back to normal? And Vilgax was amazed that the universe's most sought after item was in the possession of a child. That is a wild revelation when you think about it. This shot is too. Like, chill my guy. Vilgax got a little kid in mid-air. Vilgax here is proving the famous Michael Jordan meme still lives on to this day. Vilgax couldn't believe the Omnitrix was in the hands of a normal child and tried taking hold of the device. At this moment, the Omnitrix was like, my owner's in trouble. I need to do something fast, and initiated a green blast to go off, resulting in Vilgax flying away into a wall. Clutch save from the Omnitrix as always. Vilgax realizes the Omnitrix has merged with Ben's DNA as he begins walking up to Ben with the imperfect cell levels of walking style. Ben tries running away from Vilgax but is caught by the villain. Vilgax has great reach. In another life, this dude was a pro basketball player in outer space. Ben looks at Vilgax with those puppy dog eyes of his as he realizes his op won't let him leave. Vilgax's GTA-style vehicle arrives in front of him, leading the true villain to toss Ben in like 1 week old trash. Pure disrespect. Vilgax enters his vehicle like a ruling boss would and immediately travels out of the city. Meanwhile, Grandpa Max and Gwen arrived at Mount Rushmore, and this was where we all realized this dude Max was built differently in his prime years. Gwen amplified this fact more when she started asking her grandpa what it was all about with his character change, Vilgax's heel entrance, and so on, but oh man, I was not ready for the next sequence as Max pulled out a whole dang blaster. This is one of the greatest shots in the entire series. This moment here made me want to know so much more about Max's history as a plumber. It was also funny seeing Gwen look so astonished at the fact her grandpa is built differently too, like Ben. And the crazy part is, she doesn't even know what type of broken individual he is at this time in the series either. We pick back up on the ship as Vilgax was in the middle of one of his 06 John Cena promos to vocalize his frustration witnessing the Omnitrix be used as a play toy by a foolish child. Ben was not about to take Vilgax's disrespect and inform this op he had saved many people with the Omnitrix. Ben, do you really think Vilgax cares if you save people? My dude has twisted plans in store for the universe for the Omnitrix. Vilgax walks up to Ben to tell him about a power struggle raging since eons ago, a war that's way above his primitive human mind. A savage delivery but understandable response from a GOAT villain like Vilgax. This camera shot made the line even greater. Vilgax tells Ben to picture a world where he sits at the top of the food chain with his Omnitrix powered minions under his control. As Vilgax stated, he'd be #1 in the galaxy, but a glorious dream of his can't happen yet until he removes Ben from the equation. This is a kid, Vilgax. A kid. Dude doesn't care at all. Vilgax opens up his surgical utensils as he plans on going full Orochimaru on Ben Tennyson to help secure his precious Omnitrix. Elsewhere, Grandpa Max had gotten all the buffs he needed in order to clap Vilgax. Back on the ship, Vilgax was telling Ben to get ready to enter orbit as he declared that planet Earth would soon fall under the line of deletion at his hands. A truly twisted individual, Vilgax was getting ready to leave planet Earth, and the OG Max Tennyson wasn't having it as he pressed the button to transform the Rust Bucket into a mid-transformation sequence you would see in Transformers Dark of the Moon. Grandpa Max is for sure one of the greatest elderly characters ever conceived, because you're telling me you had all this stuff under wraps for so long? The man has a better secret identity than most superheroes out there. Grandpa Max sped all the way off the cliff like a crazy GTA player would do to kill someone in an online game, resulting in Gwen screaming out. People always talk about Tom and his iconic screams, but Gwen can definitely give Tom a run for his money in the scream department too. Anyways, Vilgax powered up an energy blade and walked over to Ben to beat his plan of slicing his hand off, Tien style. I was thinking, Max, please man, you've been showing us in this episode so far that you're like a hidden broken character in video games. Please show us what you're made of, and the legend came in one of the best clutch saves ever as Grandpa Max crashed through the wall of the ship to ram his Autobot technology and amped rust bucket onto Vilgax, resulting in the villain being sent packing into another nearby room of the ship. Yeah, Grandpa Max stocks just went up on this channel. Straight up gave Vilgax the Michaela special from Revenge of the Fallen. Max reverses the rust bucket to get out of the vehicle and just wow, bro, why is Max so dang cold, man? Right now, I want to know who's an old character that got as much swag as Max. Let me know down in the comments below because this guy is incredible. Ben was like, yo, my grandpa was a secret OG? This is crazy. Vilgax looks up and realizes it's his OG op, Max Tennyson, who just clapped him. But before he could even do anything, he was blasted away with a Dragon Ball Z-like beam from Max, resulting in the villain being sent crashing out of the ship. A retired plumber can still do this. I got a tear in my eye, y'all. Max drops his blaster to go help Ben, while Ben is amazed at the fact that his grandpa knows who Vilgax is. Max was like, yeah, don't worry, I'll explain later. For my brothers and sisters, we gotta talk about one of the coolest sequences in the series as Ben started morphing into 3 of his alien forms. Max explained to Ben it must be the extra power surge affecting the watch, as Ben transformed into the OG throwdown champion known as Forearms to free himself from his entrapment. With Ben free, the drones immediately initiated the jumping technique protocol to fire their beams at the Tennyson family. Ben blocked the attack and got ready to deliver a punch when he morphed into one of the greatest aliens in the series, Ghost Freak. Ben, realizing the watch was spazzing, immediately went intangible to latch himself into another drone as gray matter to destroy the machine from the inside. Just as Ben was getting ready to defuse another drone, he was changed into Upgrade. Nearby, a drone was getting ready to pack up Gwen for good, but as always, Ben Tennyson came in with a clutch save by spinning himself like Xanth from Twilight Princess to dispatch the 2 drones. Of course, Gwen was not too happy at the way a piece of the robot landed on her head, but at least she was saved, am I right? Ben continued dispatching the robots while Max went to take control of the ship. And holy, Vilgax looks so pissed, man. Oh my god. The man is not about to be embarrassed by his OG opponent as the menace walked up to Max and threw him away near the exposed wall. With his op on the floor, Vilgax decided to bring out the Delta Stomp to finish Max off for good. Truly diabolical behavior. Vilgax even told Max his old weapons won't stop him this time around as he gained 10 plus attribute traits over the years from his 90 overall back in the day. Ben defused the last bomb and immediately sprinted at Vilgax like Shane from The Purge to spear Vilgax off the ship. Ben is very protective of his family and he ain't gonna let no octopus-faced loser harm them. Gotta love the mindset. Ben makes himself like a parachute to avoid falling to the ground fast, while Vilgax was sent crashing down to the ground due to his sheer amount of weight. Ben prepares to land on Theodore Roosevelt's head and he transforms into Ripjaws. The Omnitrix straight up trolled Ben here. I get it, there was going to be a time when the watch was eventually going to randomize to Ripjaws, but you do it when the sun is beaming as hot as the flare fruit? Not cool at all. Ben crawls up on the 26th president's head and my guy is looking like he's about to die. I mean, he literally is about to. There's no water anywhere at all. The Omnitrix really got Ben out here like dehydrated SpongeBob from that one episode. Vilgax lands right next to Ben and walks over to Ben so he can deliver yet another WWE style promo. He tells his second op he really is a slippery fish before reaching out his hand to grab the Omnitrix. The Omnitrix realized the trolling games were over and changed Ben to one of the most iconic aliens in the series, aka Accelerate. Accelerate is top 3 aliens of all time. Go to design, fire name, the Ultimate Alien team will always hold that L for trying to replace this legend with a fraud known as Fast Track. Ben quips at Vilgax and runs off Flash style. Vilgax, irritated at the fact his op continues running away from him, informs Ben he can't hide from him forever. Vilgax, I don't think Ben is trying to hide from you, my G. Ben tells Vilgax he wasn't planning on fleeing away and presses both the L2 and R2 trigger to perform the Injustice 1 flash super move on Vilgax. Then came a loud thud sound, and from hearing the noise, I just knew Ben screwed up badly here. By the time the dust settled, Ben was out here posing like Part 4 Joseph Joestar. You can tell the homie broke something from the impact. Ben was talking about how he'll be feeling the side effects of the pain tomorrow, and Vilgax looked at Ben like, there won't be a tomorrow for you, and he amped up his arms, Bane style, to slam the monument in an attempt to incapacitate the hero. Theodore Roosevelt didn't deserve this treatment, man. The next scene is just as crazy as Ben continued to dodge Vilgax, while Vilgax kept his L2 aim trigger locked in on Ben as he told his op he can't escape him. Ben was like, aight, you doing too much, and tried delivering a punch to Vilgax. It was not a wise choice from our homie Ben because Vilgax proceeded to catch him in midair and slingshotted the man into a wall. Now Vilgax is turning Ben into a personal slingshot toy. Someone has to put this twisted villain down already. Ben switched to another iconic alien, Diamond Head, to continue his onslaught by firing a multitude of his shards with his witty special delivery phrase. Ben ran up on Vilgax like a fool with no strategy to punch Vilgax's Vilgax's thigh, and just from punching this man's thighs, his hands were broken. What type of vitamins and meals did Vilgax consume to be this broken? Vilgax grabbed him by the face and chokeslammed him to the ground, resulting in his face being shattered. Nah, this move from Vilgax gotta have some racial motives. Vilgax destroyed Diamond Head's home world, and now he shattered his face. I'm so glad Diamond Head got his lick back on Vilgax and Alien Force because this scene was too disrespectful in my eyes. Ben began changing into another alien at the same time Vilgax was preparing to send him to the Forefathers. Thankfully, Ben switched into Ghost Freak, and my guy's reaction when he realized the Omnitrix turned him into the right alien. I just know Ben was happy right here. Ben vanishes away, leading Vilgax to revert back to his normal form. Vilgax looks back and sees his ship, so he decides to head towards it. Nearby, Ben realizes his family just crashed onto the ground and flew over in the direction to see if they were okay. We pick up with Max and Gwen, who are both in trouble, like invincible levels of trouble, due to the fact that Vilgax was right in front of them with his ominous figure. Ben flew to the battered rust bucket, and Vilgax is going to hell for battering this classic 70s vehicle. Then again, if Vilgax was sent to hell, he'd probably overtake it anyways. Ben continues searching for his family until he finds himself staring at a terrifying scene as he realizes Vilgax has both his family members captured. Vilgax is going to use the love bait technique on Ben, isn't he? Ben transforms into Wild Mutt, an underrated OG alien, and this is another wild shot. Ben's alien forms aren't normal size, they're huge. It's so mind-boggling how Vilgax makes all of Ben's alien forms look like preschoolers in stature. Vilgax tells Ben to give himself up or else his family will be sent to the afterlife. Ben realized he didn't have a choice against his op and surrendered himself to Vilgax. We all would have done this, let's not lie to ourselves. Vilgax drops Gwen and Max to the floor and walks towards Ben so he can deactivate the Omnitrix. Vilgax praises Ben for his nobility and takes him like a newly awarded trophy back to his ship. Max wakes up and immediately tells his former op, Vilgax, not to get back on the ship. The GOAT Max Tennyson set the ship on self-destruction mode, didn't he? Vilgax hops on the ship and immediately gets ready to talk trash about Max, and he realizes the self-destruction has been initiated. Vilgax ran up to the device in an attempt to stop the destruction, but couldn't. Yeah, this is why you don't talk so quickly when you haven't fully won the match yet, because an Uno reversal can always happen, my G's. Vilgax is then blasted in the back by Ben. You see what I'm talking about? Jokes aside, I'm happy Ben got the last shot in the fight. Bro got bullied throughout most of this fight. Now we gotta talk about one of the funniest moments easily, man, as Vilgax was trying to get out of his predicament as the ship commenced self-destruction launch 100%, resulting in him to scream out in horror. I'm sorry, but the way Vilgax was shouting no in the OG series always had me dying of laughter. Like, how has nobody out there on the internet made his no as sound effect to use? It's too funny. Ben transforms the heat blast to surf his way back to the ground to reunite with his family, and man, what a legendary moment. Vilgax's debut is one of the best for a villain in my opinion. Vilgax was intimidating, cruel, powerful, and resourceful. The only reason Vilgax lost here is because he greatly underestimated the wit of the Tennysons. If Vilgax didn't, we'd be seeing a bunch of poor folks in the universe be turned into a bunch of Bellamy's by Vilgax. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the OG Vilgax? Let me know down in the comments below. If y'all enjoyed the video, consider hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. Also follow me on Instagram, I post on there too. As always, I hope y'all can have a nice week and I'll catch y'all for the next video. Foro Omni out.